My name is Dr. Ron Hickenbottom, and I'm the Medical Director for the Broadcast Ministers Alliance Health Awareness Program. Today we are continuing our series on women's health. This will be a two-part presentation focusing on cervical cancer, prevention and detection. Our program is being sponsored by the Illinois Department of Public Health. Cervical cancer is the second most common cancer affecting women in the United States. Approximately 11,000 new cases will be newly diagnosed this year. Out of that 11,000 cases, approximately 3,800 women will die from cervical cancer. African American women have the highest rate of cervical cancer, with Hispanics being number 2. African American women develop cervical cancer about 50% more than non-Hispanics and whites. Approximately 500,000 new cases of cervical cancer will be diagnosed internationally this year. There are some key facts you need to know about cervical cancer. Number one, it is a very, very slow-growing cancer. If it is diagnosed early, it is curable. There is no need for a woman to die from cervical cancer in 2008. The average age for women with cervical cancer is between 50 and 55 years of age. Let's talk about two of the main risk factors. The number one risk factor is prior infection with the HPV virus. The second most common risk factor is African American women. Now let's get back to the HPV virus. This is a virus that is sexually transmitted to both men and women. Testing is currently only available for women. HPV is not HIV. Certain strands of HPV have been associated with cervical cancer and genital warts. HPV can be spread through any genital contact with an infected person. The only way to avoid the HPV virus is to avoid sexual contact and activity. Almost everyone has ever had sex has come in contact with the HPV virus. Approximately 6 million cases each year have come in contact with the HPV virus. Out of those 6 million cases, 74% of these cases are young people between the ages of 15 and 24. There are over 100 strands of the HPV virus. Only a dozen of these strands are responsible for the development of cervical cancer, specifically types 16 and 18. 90% of the women with HPV virus have no adverse side effects. Only about 10% of them, they need to be actually watched very closely, and some of them may need additional treatment. Prevention of the HPV virus, we have a new vaccine that's been approved by the FDA called Gardasil. This protects against types 16 and 18. It covers about 70% of the cervical cancers. It also protects against types 6 and 11, which covers about 90% of genital warts. Currently, this particular vaccine is recommended only for women between the ages of 9 and 26 years of age. There are a series of 3 injections at 0, 2, and 6 months. The cost is approximately $120 per injection. Most common adverse effects from the injection are fever, nausea, dizziness, pain and swelling at the injection site. Risk factors for HPV: younger women in their late teens and 20s, prior history of HIV infection, multiple sexual partners, smoking, use of birth control pills over 5 years of age.